Hello, loves, beautiful beings. Let's talk about failures. All right, I'm going to specifically talk about some of mine and where I've been, just so you can kind of understand. You know, one thing that I've learned about failure is that you almost have to fall in love with failure to a point of just accepting it as that part of life. But the biggest point with failure is to never, ever fucking quit. Okay? But listening to your intuition, because there is a time and a place to pull back and to push forward, to rest and to take action. I also call that the good type of procrastination, right? When you put the seed in the ground, you got to let it do its fucking thing, and it grows in the dark until it starts to blossom. And then you start to water it. You take care of it. You shelter it from the storms. Like, you do a lot of things, and you also let it out in the sunlight. Like, analogy of plants 101, I guess. But, not giving up and not feeling pressured to do things. I always felt this pressure, that I had to do this. I had to post on social media. I had to look this certain way. I had to blah, blah, blah. And now here's the thing. It's called balance. You don't have to be extreme one side, extreme the other. Okay. You can find your happy medium that works for you, but you have to listen to yourself. You have to stop listening to the external shit. You have to stop listening to those say, oh, you need to go to college and blah, 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 and do everything the way that they did. Or, oh, you want to dance and be a teacher? Oh, you want to be an intuitive and astral travel and teach people? I'm talking about these things because people stop at what they choose to not comprehend, and then they try to project that onto you. All right. And also, let's take a step back here with pressure. I made a business decision, and it thrived for the very short time. I did events and I started teaching, but I was telling people how much I could make, or people were telling me how much I could make, right? And I never really felt like it was good enough. Like, I loved doing what I did, but I always felt like I wasn't paid enough, and it's really hard when you feel like that, because you're supposed to just love what you do, right? Well, here's the thing. If you're not allowing yourself to get paid what you are worth, what you know inside, if you feel bad about that, it becomes this cycle, and you see it in other parts of your life because you are not showing how much you're worth, okay? You're not stepping up for yourself. You're not standing up for yourself. And this is what I did. And I lost thousands and thousands of dollars, essentially, into this, right? I invested and I lost. Like, that's a risk that you just take. And for a long time, well, I wouldn't say for a long time, and I wouldn't say that I necessarily was blaming the other people. There was obviously part blame, because when you go into something with someone, I guess there were expectations, and I learned a lot. Like, in that failing, I learned so much about business in general. I learned about contracts. I learned about what I truly wanted. I don't want a business partner. I learned, kind of like relationships and friendships. You learn what you want and what you don't want, what you want to put your energy towards and what you don't. So with that, I was working and searching and doing all of these things, and I was trying to find a building. Like, I was ready to go, after my failing with that. I had figured out what I was going to do. And I pushed myself, and I was finally getting paid more for what I was worth for teaching, specifically with pole at the time, while I was working on opening up another space, and it was really awesome. But I was coming into a wall after a wall with a space until I was about to sign a lease on something. And I was like, no, you got to go to Texas. Like, if you start this now, you won't stay here. And then obviously, a year later, well, I guess a little over a year, but then all of this virus shit happened. And event business, being brand new, man, how fucking unlucky would I would have been. I mean, I'm sure I would have learned a lot as well if I didn't listen to myself to come out here. And now there's such an opportunity for me to fully expand and, seeing things out here the way that they are. And I won't go into much detail just because, I'm still cultivating. I'm planting the seed. It's still in the dark, right? I don't need to show everything out to the world. But within those failures, I mean, I people talk about starting from the bottom. Started from the bottom, like the our very first house that my husband and I had. We were just so excited. It was this, 2,200 square feet, a very, very tiny, tiny yard. And it would seem like a lot, but it was a very old house. It needed a lot of TLC. But we were just so excited to have a house because we didn't want to live with the in-laws anymore. Am I right? Right after we got the house, husband lost his job because we had just moved back into the state and he was able to get a job and all of that. And we got the house and I hadn't found work yet. And it was like, oh shit, what the fuck are we gonna do? And everything worked out. I was able to find work. He ended up finding work after a bit and it ended up working out okay. And we ended up completely renovating that house. We were in that house for like 5.5 years. And, we invested time and everything in it. And it was a lot of pain, suffering, tears, blood, exciting things, all kinds of stuff. There were failures along the way. There were lots of successes. And in the end, it was a success. And then we moved up to a different house that was bank owned, kind of same thing, needed some TLC. Everybody's passing over these diamonds in the rough kind of stuff. And it worked out. And now moving to Texas, same thing, same house, same thing happened. It's a diamond in the rough, bank owned kind of thing, needs some love, was brand new, problem child, right? You come in, you give it some fucking love and it fucking shines. Okay. It's a lot of work and there are tears and it is painful, but it is also so beautiful. I've never had a child, but all of my friends tell me that it's painful and it's a horrible process, but they wouldn't change it for the world for having babies, right? They're children kind of thing. And maybe they would, who knows? I don't know. What I'm saying is that we need to learn to accept it's not easy, because the easy path we take kind of advantage of, we feel more entitled compared to just working for it with that sweat, with those blood, with that tears that come into it. And, there's a lot. Sometimes it can be overwhelming when you look at the big picture and where you want to be, right? But you start with where you are, with what you have, and everything will work out. I can say that when the universe blesses you with shit that you want, you're grateful. And as my beautiful friend Nikki has said, which I love how she put it, more please, when, you get free this, when somebody gives you a discount on that, when you get paid a really nice tip. But even when you learn a lesson, even when it is painful, okay, say, oh, thank you for this lesson. And I know that's hard to do, but when you come at it from gratitude, no matter what happens for you, you put out gratitude still, and you're going to get it back because it is a vibration, right? Reverberation. You put it out, it comes back. That's that infinity symbol. What goes out comes back, right? Staying in that neutral point, no matter which way the pendulum fucking swings, you're going to get it back tenfold. We are so impatient. I know I'm fucking impatient. Like, I am like, universe, what the hell? It's been 3 years since I've had this happen. Like, mind you, my father died. I got in a car accident. And then my husband's father died all in the same year. Shortly after that, I ended up losing thousands of dollars, like, a year later from going into business. And like, I was like, who the fuck am I? I was a pole dancer. I was a national competitor, and I'm like, Well, shit, I'm not any of those, because all of that like dissipated. All of my who I thought I was, those labels, having an open relationship, all of a sudden I didn't feel like doing that anymore. Like there were so many things who I thought I was, who I thought I was successful, and who, those labels and those boxes that like boom, stripped away from me. I was like, who the fuck am I? What? I thought I was this person, you know? And I was that person, and I am that person, and I am grateful for that person, okay? But I think in quantum time, quantum, because we have the ability, and I forget the method of what it's called, or the theory or whatever it's called, but where they see that an atom that happens here, right, can be in many places and have the same thing happening, all right? That's multidimensionality at its finest, and that's what I'm explaining. When you accept failure, when you become neutral, you end up reshaping your past, present, and your future. So when you send out those vibrations of what you truly want, and you have to figure that out. And that can going through dark nights of the soul, things that aren't the most pleasant, right? To shed that skin, to shed those layers and get things out of the way. You have to empty your fucking cup before you can fill it with the things that you want. And that can mean people leave your life. That can mean situations leave your life. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. We are so attached to the goodbyes and the hurt and the pain of those things, instead of realizing that that's part of the beauty of fucking life. That is death. Death is rebirth. Death is rebirth. The more we accept death, the more we accept that we have feelings, the more that we choose to feel feelings, okay? And the more that we empty ourselves of distortions, take distortions off of ourselves, and accept those failures as like, it's like a bumper rail for us. It's like, oh fuck, I failed. Well, why did I fail? Leading in a new direction. It's bumper life. It's like bumper cars. We're like, I'm gonna go this way. Oh shit, gotta go this way, kind of thing, right? Guides, angel, universe, whatever you believe in. That's what it's saying. So either learn that lesson and move forward, or you don't. Whatever you decide. There is no, I like to say, there's no wrong or right choice, right, that fits all. There's no one size fits all for everyone. You can listen and learn things and have things resonate with you, and move forward, but wisdom is actually experiencing those things for yourself. Knowledge is reading in a book. But we all know, I've heard it from hair, from people in the medical field, what they read in a book, I mean, obviously is good, it helps prepare you. But for actually experiencing the shit that happens, you learn more in a month to 6 month period than you do in the years you were in school. Real life, that is wisdom. And so, do not set yourself on only listening to one thing. And don't discredit people just because they said something that you don't resonate with, right? If you resonate with 75% or even 50% of the things, then the other 50% you're like, meh. That's okay. If you're learning something great, that's what we can do with each other. We accept people because it's okay, yeah, I resonate with that. And then other times if you don't, well, it's not that they're bad. It's not that they're, whatever it is. It's just, hey, I don't want to vibe with that. That's not what I'm here for. So with those failures, that's what I'm saying. You can only learn so much, but you have to fail. And when you are in love with failing, you are in love with life. And that means you are in love with succeeding. So it doesn't mean that you're setting your sights on failing. But let me tell you, failing, you learn a whole shit ton more when you fail compared to when you succeed. But success comes from failing, right? I got it 1,000 times wrong, but 1,001, I finally got it right. Boom, here we are, exploding into exactly what I have been wanting, what I have been picturing. You can change that with a thought every single day. So here's something that you can do. You can Write down exactly what you want. What do you want and when do you want it by? Okay, don't be attached to that, but you just have it as a goal. And then what are you going to give to achieve that goal? And then how are you going to give that to achieve that goal? Okay, so say for me, I have I will be a blah, blah, blah heir, okay, millionaire, billionaire, blah, 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 by in a date, okay, and a year, like a full on date, by giving. And what are you going to give? Give my innovations, give my ideas, give my time, give my love, be very specific and be very honest about what you would give. And then it is by doing blah, blah, blah. Like for me, I want to share my content once a week, So that's just kind of an example. And when you set your sights on a goal like that, be very, very specific and understand what you are giving, okay? Because the universe will give it to you amplified 10,000 times. So that's how you attract things to you. Change your thoughts, which will in turn change your actions, and that will bring you to where you want to be, to where you want to vibrate at. All right, I know it is so much easier said than done, but respect yourself for failing. Respect yourself for not having everybody resonate with you, not having everybody like you. All right, I know I was such a people pleaser. I did not like people not liking me. And I tried to please everyone around me. And it caused me emotional pain and physical pain, And when you learn to knowing that you're worthy, knowing what you want, and setting those boundaries, you can say no tactfully, respectfully, right? You don't have to go and call people names. You don't have to feed your energy to anybody else who it doesn't resonate with you. But learn to, that's a center. That's being in your center. That's being in your center point of knowing what you're worth, knowing your boundaries, and not being attached to really how or when it happens. You can have a goal because it's going to make you work, right? When you put a deadline on something, it makes you work. Don't be stressed if you don't make it. Because what if the universe or something, your highest self, has something way better in mind for you? Because I can tell you, I'm not saying that if I would have stayed in Utah and had everything work out, that it wouldn't be awesome. But I am so grateful for where I am at right now and what it led me to right now. And that's really that's proof in the pot. Being grateful for where you are now, and stop listening to external media. I mean, when we talk about learning to tune in with yourself, there's a lot of outside noise. What do you really want? And I can tell you that was a hard-ass question for me to answer for myself. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted. Yeah, do I want more money? Sure. I don't want to have to worry. I don't want to be in fear mode. I want to be completely independent. I want to be able to create what I want to create. But I want to do it for the highest good of all involved. Yeah, for myself. But what's even better is when it's for all involved, everyone around me. That's what we're coming out of. We come out of a cycle of people want to do it for their highest good of their own self. Okay? Which, yes, you take care of yourself, but when you take care of yourself, while it reverberates to all involved, you're going to get so much push and power and extra from the universe, because it's that much more powerful when you think of, yes, yourself, but the collective around you. That is unity. That is the balance. It's not one or the other. You can't, like you just physically can't ensure the safety of someone else. You can't. It is not possible because shit still happens. You can't even assure the safety of yourself. What you can do is make sure to maintain and give your self-love, your self-care, your self-safety, in your own, what you know is good for you. And when you are safe, I mean, it's the same thing. You're on a plane, they tell you to put your own oxygen mask on before doing the other person's. They tell you in any like CPR and first aid, you have to make sure you are safe first, before you can help anybody else. You have to take care of you first before you can take care of anybody else. So, going back to failure, make sure you are set. Make sure you have time to yourself. Make sure you listen to yourself. Make sure that you really get into that 0 point center. I mean, in every single movie, I see this, and it's really interesting. Like Captain Marvel, and everywhere. They Rocky, I think, I don't know. There's so many shows where everybody just takes that minute, and it's like they take a breath and they zone in. Like Karate Kid, what at my age is showing, it's fine. But it's like they take that minute. They do it. They get in that zone, in the zone, and then they step forward. Even after all of those failures, they're no longer attached to the idea if they fail or not. They're doing what they know is right, but it doesn't truly matter if they fail, because you're just going to move forward however the cards deal to you. But you are going to do everything that you can that you know in your heart is right to do. So, love yourself for failing. You ate a whole bag of chips? Shit. Eat some veggies tomorrow, like whatever, or say, oh, thank you. I apparently needed that for some reason. I see you. I notice you. Well, I guess we don't need to buy another bag of chips. And, I'm going to eat more vegetables tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like it's literally, it's balancing. Everybody is like, no, you must have this and this. You can talk about like sustainable energy and everything like that. And, there has to be, coal has its place, right? Fossil fuels have their place, and they're not bad. It is doing too much, right? It is not realizing and being completely aware of doing too much. We see the plastic straws and we change them to paper, but we wrap them in plastic. We're so worried about straws and shit, but then we have all these fucking masks everywhere. I can tell you how many I pick up in the freaking parking lot and put in the garbage because people just throw them. Cloth, paper, like that is something that I'm like, really, people are worried about straws and they're worried about climate change, but they can't even throw their mask away. And you wear your mask and you don't, I don't fucking care, but like hypocrisy at its finest. It's like, can you read between the lines of what is happening here? I'm not going to spell it out anymore. I have other videos that do that. But went on a totally different tangent. I will digress and come back. So, love yourself. Love your failures. And understand that you will always move forward. You will always expand. Okay? Quantum is a place of infinite possibilities. Knowing, feeling that you have all solutions to all things, all problems, everything that comes to you in this moment of now. Know you will figure out. Know it. And you will. It starts with a thought. Thoughts are vibration. Become words, become actions. Thoughts become actions. Know that. Know you can do that, and you will go so far. You go even farther than what you thought. That is true peace within. Nobody is going to save you. You are going to save yourself. Do not put all of your chips into one person, into one mentor. Listen to your own intuition. They talk about idols. We worship people because they make us feel good. That's like an energy trap. It's an entertainment thing. It's oh, I need my chemical thing. I need the likes, I need all of that, which I understand it's a tool. And I totally understand that. I was there and I get it. And I have to step away from doing things like that. But be aware of what you're doing. The more you can shine a light and be aware of what you are doing, the more you can recognize like those failures, those missteps, those tumbles, those falls, and you can reset yourself up. And if you do it again, well, shit, it's just going to be a lesson after lesson after lesson. And, I have no judgment towards that. It's just, it's sad to see your brothers and sisters that are here just falling and falling and falling because you see their just energy being siphoned in that way when you like see their God self, their potential of who they are, who you are. But at the same time, it's all a process. Like, it's such a beautiful process. I mean, Bob Ross and his paintings, he makes some mistakes and it actually turns out to be beautiful. I can say that by painting quite a bit more and doing paintings. Mistakes are beautiful. Love your mistakes. If you show your mistakes love, it's going to vibrate higher and no longer be mistakes anymore. Because you're going to see it from a different perspective and they're no longer mistakes. That won't even be in your vocabulary anymore. And it's really cool. It's pretty cool. What an experience to be a human, and that's kind of pretty fucking awesome. So, that was a lot. So if you're still here, thanks for listening. Make sure to like the video. There's a lot of things that I try to just intuitively, like if something comes to me, to come up and talk about, because obviously it needs to be talked about. So comment if you have any questions or anything like that. I'm here to spread love. I'm here to talk about real shit sometimes. It can be all rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns, but then there's also like the shitty, bloody sweat, tears that also go into the mix too, right? And it can end up being a good thing to talk about. So yes, subscribe. At least once a week I will put out content. But if there's anything you want me to talk about, I'm down for anything. You want to talk to me about extraterrestrials, interdimensional type stuff, totally down. Life stuff, whatever that is, obviously. So I thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. The Earth job is no fucking joke. And yeah, so be proud of yourself. Magical fucking being you. Be fucking proud. Give yourself a round of applause. Anyway, again, Happy New Year to everyone, and hope you have a wonderful night.